So, hello and welcome to the newest episode of the Self-Development with Tactics, or now called SDWT podcast. And I'm really happy to see you again. And as you can see in the background, today we are going to, or you don't really see it, we are going to talk about seven bad habits truly wealthy people never have. From the Inc.com website, from the source by Quora. You might notice this is the Q logo, the red one. And yeah, first of all, if you do not have the time to watch this entire episode, you can actually listen it as a podcast, and all these informations and all the links to all my social media platforms are down in the description. And I would really love you to comment on my video. But let's get right into it. The first one. They don't watch TV more than 60 minutes a day. And I wouldn't consider it watching TV. I would probably say they do not waste time at all, because they have something better to do than wasting the time watching TV. And you can build an entire business in quite 60 minutes. Some sort of, not a whole business, but some of it. And so I would say they do not waste time, and if you do, or if you love watching TV more than what you're doing or what you're working at, then you should consider doing something else, because then then you have chosen the wrong path. You should always do something that you love, even though if at certain days, work, whatever you're doing, if you're doing what you absolutely like, there are some days you might not like it as much as at some other days, but that's totally fine. But as I said, it's the same thing with weekends. If you're just really looking forward to the weekend every single day during the week, you're doing the wrong thing, and you should basically consider doing something else, at my point of view. Unless you're going to school like I am, and you do not have a choice. I do have a choice, but everybody needs to graduate, or I want to. And so I do everything after school, and that's also totally fine. Do this. Yes. They don't drink to excess on a regular basis. I would say that there are quite a lot of rich people there that drink a lot. But if you want to get really rich, then you might know, or everybody knows that drinks, alcohol in general, is pretty expensive. And for me, at my point of view, it's a waste of time, because it has only negative parts, at my point of view, because it makes you unhealthy, or it is unhealthy. Then you get into some kind of feeling you do not normally have, and so it's a scenario that's illusional, and it's just an illusion. You're wasting a lot of money because it's so expensive. And in terms of excessive drinking, you can drink wine or a little, but I don't, because I know that's not good for my health, and I don't want to risk my health. I only have one body and one mind my entire life long, so I don't do it. Yes. They don't spend most of the money on consumption instead of creation. As I was reading it before, I would rather say that they use more money to create something than to consume something. I would consider this as right, because most of the time business people just if they have a business, if they build themselves something, they use every profit they get out of it to grow the business more. It's also something Gary Vee says all the fucking time. He says that you know, if you take something out of the system, you may lose a lot of it in 2 years. So you may get a satisfaction right now, but in the long term, it's just bad for you. And so just, I would say take as much out as your lifestyle needs, and now it's now in terms of what lifestyle you have. But you have to be clear-minded, and you have to be sure, and you have to know that every single cent or penny, whatever currency you have, that you're taking out of your system, it won't be there anymore. And so it won't grow as much as it would if I haven't took out this kind of money or this amount of money. But yeah. And they say successful people spend their money on things that make them better, just like books. But I wouldn't say that you have to read books. A lot of people read books because there is a lot of knowledge compromised in a little space. You could also read something on the internet, you could watch videos, you can take courses. You can do such a lot of stuff. And I would, do what's the best for you. Don't do what everybody's doing. Often it is like, if, all rich people are reading, there must be something about of it. When you're thinking about it. And unsuccessful people feel the compulsion to buy products and things that they don't need. I often see it as that a lot of, especially not really wealthy people, buy some, brand stuff, clothes from brands, everything that's just expensive, and something they do not get something out of it. So it just makes them, poorer. You do not get something out of clothes unless you're some sort of influencer and, you make your money with showing off your clothes. Never say no or something. Everything is possible. And so you really have to think about stuff. Never say that something isn't working because it's, other people say it. Their houses overflow with crap they purchased from Walmart and useless gadgets that they wasted their money on. Successful people spend money intentionally and focus most of their income on things that assist in creation. Also, maybe employees. I just thought about it. The fourth one, they don't overeat and consume processed foods. I wouldn't consider this as true. As I was just searching for articles I can talk about today, I stumbled across a lot of things that, they just put something or everything in general, and I wouldn't really do this because there are always exceptions and there are always people doing something else. But I would, in general, tell you that you shouldn't eat unhealthy things. If processed food is unhealthy or healthy, I don't really know at this point. But, do that's good for your health. And, what I found out, because I am now not eating any kind of sugar, added sugar, so I just eat fruits and something as well. Not, I just don't eat stuff that has added sugar. And by looking at what you eat and only eating healthy things, you feel better, you execute better, you think better, everything is quite better at my point of view. It's just what I think. And so I would suggest you to do the same. do something for your health, work out, eat healthy. It just benefits you in every single aspect of your life. And so I don't know why you aren't doing it, if you aren't doing it. Nevertheless, how you fuel your body will determine how well you can show up in business and in life. If you're eating clean foods, you will feel better, have more energy, and look younger. If you are constantly stuffing your face with processed garbage, then you can't expect your brain to function at optimal levels, or your life to work out the way you want. I would say that the best example is Warren Buffett. He eats shit all day long, and he has always done, and he's rich anyways. So, yeah. Nevertheless, eat healthy. Yes. Unhealthy eating habits lead to all sorts of issues with confidence, depression, and long-term chronic health problems, which may studies say. But I wouldn't take it in general. It's just for some people or for most people, but there are always exceptions. And let's move on. No, let's move on. They don't blame others for their failure, and this is really a great part for me because I talked about it a lot of times, but if you keep attention to what people say and how they act, you really see that all people around you, and I wouldn't say that there are millionaires around you, so I do not have some millionaires around me, but all this, casual people, I'd say, they always blame others for something they just fucked up. It's just funny. And I just looked at what I think and what I say as well, and I have seen that I do it as well. You just have to keep attention to it. It's really, really interesting. Everybody's doing it. Everybody says, I fucked up that exam, and who did they blame? They blame what they had to learn, the teacher, the exam itself, everything but them. It's just really, really funny. And by taking everything what you fucked up by yourself, you know that you have to do something about it. And it won't get you much further if you blame somebody else, because you think, it's they fucked it up, not me, and so on, But let's see what they wrote. You will never meet successful people who blame other people for their failures. And you will rarely meet unsuccessful people who take ownership for their lives and responsibility for their lack of success. If you want to join the 1%, then quit complaining about how Donald Trump, Congress, your parents, your boss, and the world are all trying to screw you. Instead, focus on how you can succeed regardless of external circumstances. Other people have had it worse than you and built an incredible life. As I know, I will look this up. Before I say anything, I will look this up. After I've read this. Take responsibility for your life, and you have the power to achieve whatever you want. That's true, you can basically achieve anything, whatever you want. You just have to work for it. But what is the chance to become a human being? Let's see if Google tells me something. It's 4 trillion to 1. Gary Vee says 4 trillion to 1 to become a human being. And as you hear this, I assume that you are a human being, and I would rather take this gift and do something about your life. Do and make something out of you. Just get whatever you always wanted to be or become. Just make what you love and fulfill your life. Just do not waste your time with toxic people. Don't waste your time with work you don't like. You have quite a lot or less time. You do not have a lot of time, but you are a human being. You have to change everything. You are not a tree. A tree can't be anything but a tree, but you can be everything instead of a tree. But, who wants to be a tree? You can do everything. Sixth, they don't gossip and waste time talking about other people. I would say just focus on yourself and try to be the best version of yourself and give a fuck about people. And no, don't give a fuck about people. Give a fuck about people that are only talking shit. But really care about people, because people are everything. If you aren't thinking like this now, you might at some time or at some point in your life. But they say, I've yet to meet a successful person who was willing to waste his or her precious time and mental energy gossiping about other people. Sure, he or she may mention a mistake that some peers has made to use as an example or to express frustration with the state of things. But I've never heard a successful person sitting at the water cooler saying, "Oh my god, did you see what Sally was wearing yesterday? Did you hear that Jake is cheating on his fiance?" Fiance? It just doesn't happen. If you have enough stuff going on in your own life, so stop focus on other people and focus on yourself. I would say so. Let people do whatever they are doing, and unless you do not have a relationship with them or consider them as friends or something, just don't waste your time about thinking about them. Yes. And the seventh and last one, and I will discuss this a little bit with a little bit more time, but with the same enthusiasm. They don't spend time worrying about other people's opinion. That's true, because most of the time people are always, talking shit about you, or they're not always talking shit about you, but they always have wrong opinions, So even if it's your mother, she tells her opinion on you, and you might be like, okay, yes, I got it that this is your opinion, but I don't care. But don't say to your mother, I don't care. Just tell her, okay, fine, it's good, and maybe you consider it. Whether they are a part of the 1% or not, the most successful people in the world, subjectively, don't care about other people's opinions. Sure, they take advice from mentors. Not everybody has a mentor. For example, Gary Vee do not has a mentor, or didn't have, or have never had a mentor, has never had. But they don't let their family, friends, or society determine what they will do with their life or what makes them happy. They march to the beat of their own drummer and chart their own path through life. As a result, they get to experience something that's an anomaly in the human existence. They truly live. And I would say, unless it's a really, really, high IQ person, or a really intelligent one, or really rich one, or someone you look up to, just give a fuck about their opinions, I'd say, because you know yourself the best, and whatever other people are thinking about you is wrong most of the time, because they just think about you in the way they think about everything else, and you think about you in the way you think about everything else. So they're just quite different patterns of thinking, I think. So I would say unless it's Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett who give you advice and don't really criticize you, take that advice. They probably be right. But it's 20 minutes already. Just went by so quickly today. And I really have to thank you for letting me be your host today. And today I got the message that my podcast is now on Apple Podcast. And so if you're an Apple Podcast fan, as I am, you might consider listening on that platform, because it's a really great platform and most of the best podcasts are on there. And yeah, all the other stuff is down in the description, as I said before this episode. And I really love you and I really thank you for listening to me and to listen to what I say. And I'll see you the next time. So tomorrow. And I'm happy about that. See you the next time. Bye.